1000 English horror voice script. Studio microphone horror voice script, long story approximately 1000 words. It was supposed to be a normal night ride home after work. I had just finished my shift and got on the last bus leaving the industrial town. There were only a few passengers inside, all tired, all silent. Nobody talked. Nobody even looked at each other. Outside the window there was nothing but darkness. The road went through endless forest, the kind of place where you don't want to stop at night. At first everything felt normal. The engine was humming, the bus lights were dim, and most people were half asleep. But after a few hours, something changed. I woke up because the bus suddenly turned. Not slightly, but sharply, like the driver left the highway. I looked out the window. There was no road, only a narrow dirt path going deep into the taiga. I thought maybe it was a shortcut. But then I noticed something strange. There were no street lights. No signs. No houses. Nothing. Just forest. Endless forest. People started waking up one by one. Someone asked the driver where we were going. But the driver didn't answer. That was the first moment when I felt something was wrong. I stood up and slowly walked to the front of the bus. The closer I got, the colder it felt. When I reached the driver's seat, my heart stopped. Behind the wheel sat a mannequin. A real mannequin. Plastic face. Empty eyes. Hands on the steering wheel. For a second I thought I was dreaming. Then the bus hit a bump and the mannequin's head slowly turned toward me. I screamed. Everyone rushed forward. People started shouting, asking what was happening. But the bus didn't stop. It kept driving deeper into the forest. Suddenly we saw lights ahead. Old yellow lights, like from a broken shop. The bus stopped near a small wooden building. Above the door there was a sign. Dom Yedy, food house. But the place looked abandoned. The windows were broken. The door was open, and the lights were flickering. Nobody wanted to go outside. But the bus doors opened by themselves. Cold air came inside, and then we saw them. People, standing near the shop. At least 10 of them. They were not moving, not talking, just standing and looking at the bus. All of them were wearing long dark clothes. One of them stepped forward. He had something like a wooden mask on his face. He raised his hand slowly, and pointed toward the forest. Then everyone turned their heads at the same time. Toward the trees. That's when we heard the sound. Something big was moving in the dark. Branches breaking. Heavy steps. Slow, but powerful. The lights near the shop started flickering faster. Someone inside the bus started crying. Someone tried to close the doors. But they wouldn't move. The masked man spoke. His voice was quiet, but we all heard it. You came to the wrong road. The master of the forest is waiting. Then the ground shook. Something huge moved between the trees. I saw a shadow taller than the bus. The people outside dropped to their knees. All of them at the same time. They started whispering something I couldn't understand. The air became cold, so cold I couldn't breathe. And then the bus engine started again. By itself. The doors slammed shut. The bus turned around and drove back into the forest road. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. When we finally reached the highway, the driver was sitting in his seat again. A real driver. He looked at us in the mirror and said, "Why are you all standing? We never stopped. I never took the night bus again. And sometimes, when I drive past that road, I see an old sign in the trees. Dom Yedy, and shadows standing radam s lesem, waiting for the next bus."